Thanks for staying with us. News coming in from London, where armed police have arrested a man believed to have been carrying knives in Whitehall. That's very close to the Parliament. The Metropolitan Police says there were no injuries reported so far. We also know that, according to reports, the suspect is now in custody in a South London police station. A witness described seeing two knives on the ground, one of which he described as a large bread knife. The area has been cordoned off. Let's get in our London Bureau Chief, Mandy Clark, with the very latest. Mandy, what more do we know?
Well, what we know is that this individual had been monitored by counterterrorism experts and that there was no known threat. But he was tipped off, the police were tipped off, and they found a number of things on him. And he's currently being detained, and the area is still being investigated.
All right, Mandy, this is also significant, coming just about over a month after, a man plowed a car into pedestrians nearby the Westminster Bridge. So what's the status as of now? Is there high alert in parts of London? Because we also believe reports saying that this is a high security area as it is.
Well, yes, absolutely. It is a high-security area. It's the center of London. It would just be meters away from Westminster. It's Whitehall. It's where ministers of the government meet. The terror threat has not moved. It remains severe. That is the second highest level. The highest level is of course, critical. But it remains severe, which means that they expect the terror attack to be imminent. But this was, although this individual has been followed by counterterrorism police, he was known to police authorities, but they do not believe that there was an imminent threat of attack. But he was found with two knives, so the investigation, as I said, is ongoing into his motivations and why he was in that location at that time.
All right, Mandy, do stay with me. Meanwhile, for the viewers who've just tuned in, those are live pictures coming to you from London, that area where security now is on alert. The incident images emerging from afternoon in London show cops arresting the suspect, who was a bearded man aged somewhere in his 20s, close to the junction of Parliament Street and Westminster Bridge Road. What we do know is that he's been detained at gunpoint as part of an ongoing operation. That's what the police is saying, and he has been arrested on suspicion of possessing an offensive weapon and preparing acts of terrorism. He's being held under the Terrorism Act at a South London police station. Our London Bureau Chief, Mandy Clark, giving us the very latest inputs. Mandy, explain to us what sort of an area in London is this, where this incident has taken place. Mandy, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
Sure, Mandy, your voice isn't very clear, but I'll repeat my question. What sort of an area is this from where the incident has been reported?
Okay, well, it is the heart of London. It's where Parliament meets. Whitehall is, you can expect a lot of the government ministers to meet. It is a very secure location in London. You have a lot of security detail in that area at present anyways, because the UK remains at a severe security threat. So this would be the very heart of London, and to expect another security attack would be quite surprising, but certainly a very ideal target for many terrorists. So it's always on high alert, and there's a lot of threat and security in the area. It would be central London, where ministers would meet.
All right, Mandy, now I'm also looking at a picture that's going around on social media. It shows a large carving knife lying around the pavement next to a smaller knife and a bag. Any word on what the police says was in the bag? Is it suspecting any sort of explosives? Is this man, because right now I'm sure as they're investigating, the first question would be this man's affiliation to perhaps any terror organization to ascertain what was his motive to be in that area at that time with the knives and that bag.
Well, we don't know his motivations. We certainly know that he was being watched, and that there were 2 knives recovered, and that he was carrying knives. There was no word on the explosives.
Mandy, your voice is breaking up. We'll try and reconnect with you, and I'm going to come back to you in just a second. Meanwhile, let's continue to get our viewers. That picture is what we're talking about, doing rounds on the social media, showing this man with knives and a bag. Of course, the police have taken this suspect into interrogation to find out what his motive was. What was he doing at the time? This just in the afternoon in London. The Westminster Bridge, we are learning, has been sealed off. This photograph showing a police cordon surrounding the bag which had been discarded on a road traffic island. Armed police were seen detaining the suspect, who was dressed in some sort of dark clothing, before they wrestled him to the ground. In fact, Mandy Clark is joining us from London for more details. Mandy, please go on. I hope we fixed your audio connection this time.
That it was deterrent. We have no word on whether he was carrying any explosives. No, that was a person of it.
All right, we'll try and go back to London to get more inputs, but importantly, this incident has taken place near the UK Prime Minister's residence. Of course, that goes on to show it's a high security area. WION's correspondent Pratyush Dubey now joining us for more inputs. Pratyush, what is the latest that we're hearing at this point?
Well, you know, much of what Mandy has said holds at this moment. What we know are the bare bones of an operation that's being done. This is very close to Whitehall, which you would remember is about a stone's throw from the location where an incident happened just last month, where a terror attack had happened in London. And this is also very, very close to the United Kingdom Prime Minister's residence, Theresa May's residence at 10 Downing Street. A man, the person that you can see on the television screens right now, dark-skinned man with a beard, was found in a suspicious. He was moving around suspiciously, which is why the police apprehended him. What we can make out from what the police have, because the police haven't issued any statement, but what we can make out so far is that upon searching him, he appears to have had an injury on his right hand. The police discovered that he was carrying a number of knives in his bag. The knives range from cleaving knives to knives used to butcher animals. So we don't know who this individual is, but we know that that he was a person who's moving around suspiciously. What we also know at this moment is that the police have taken him into custody. As a precaution, they have shut down the Whitehall area. Forensics as well as anti-terror unit of the Greater Metropolitan Area Police are already on the spot. So this is what we can tell our viewers. What we don't know is who this individual is. What we don't know at this incident is that is this in any manner connected to a potential or a possible terror attack?
Right.
Because the police have remained tight-lipped as of this moment.
All right. So also this, just reminding our viewers, there wasn't any attack. The suspect is in police custody. Interrogation happening at this point. The scare happening just yards from where, remember, Khalid Masood, he launched an attack in March, killing 5 people, including Keith Palmer. The officer, remember, was stabbed to death as he carried out his duties on the forecourt of the Palace of Westminster. So, Pratyush, this is a critical time as far as London is concerned. We've seen one attack after the other, making London vulnerable to such instances.
Well, you know, that is, of course, a larger question at this moment, Sana, and perhaps London is no more vulnerable than any other large metropolitan city in any other part of India. You remember, India itself has had this long struggle with terror. Delhi itself, the capital, has been subject of numerous terror attacks. So perhaps, yes, you're right in saying that London does remain vulnerable. There is a heightened sense of security. And just earlier today, we were reporting how the airports across London, across England, in fact, have increased their security today. So definitely, intelligence inputs of a varied nature would be coming in, and the police in London would be, and in other parts of England would be reacting to that information as it comes. This person who's been arrested, what we are learning is, has been arrested on suspicion of preparing acts of terrorism. This is what the Scotland Yard has said. So this is news that we can tell our viewers, that we can authenticate at this moment. The Scotland Yard has said that knives were recovered from this man's possession, and he's been arrested on charge of preparing for acts of terrorism. So these are two facts, and as our viewers just tuning in would just to bring them up to speed, is that this incident has happened about 40 to 45 minutes ago, and this happened very close to the United Kingdom Prime Minister's residence, Theresa May, who resides at 10 Downing Street. Whitehall is where the heart of London's administration really is, heart of England's administration really is the seat of the England's administration, so as to speak. And the fact is that this person has been arrested on suspicion of committing an act of terror, not on the act of terror, and the police aren't saying anything more at this moment.
All right, we'll wait for more details to emerge from London. Of course, we'll know more only after the interrogation is complete and we have inputs from London, but as our correspondents there pointing out that armed cops there swooping on a terror suspect who was carrying a backpack and 2 knives outside Parliament, very close to 10 Downing Street, a high security area which has been cordoned off.